Thanks for coming round. We'll make you laugh before you go. Welcome to the Mermen. Welcome to the show.
Time to start the Mermen podcast.
Haven't done that in a while. I've not done the shell blow.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, you weren't joining me. Yep. You just, sorry, man, you do
Two
you.
podcasts today, man. I'm tired.
I will never not take an opportunity to blow into a conch shell.
We're recording back-to-back podcasts today because
We're hard workers.
Louise has to get a breast reduction surgery or something. I don't know.
Luis jet sets all around the world.
I think it's you leaving, actually, this time.
Oh, yeah, I leave tomorrow.
You going on the cruise?
Going on the cruise. By the time this airs, I will be back from the cruise.
And because we are responsible podcasters, we got to make sure we get an episode out to you, courtesy of Comedy Records.
Every week, you're welcome. You consume these for free. You're welcome. Pay us money.
I mean, some people have sent money.
That's true. I just got a bunch more. People must be listening to this week's episode. I just got a bunch more Venmos for deforestation.
Fuck yeah. Oh,
You got-
just now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we won't do it this time. We'll do the next one. We'll have the official tally, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's coming in.
Make sure you make a guess, though. Some people are just paying, and then they're just like they're not putting guesses. They're just paying you to lose weight. I love it.
Take your money. Yeah, take your money. I'm tired. Just ate.
Should we do that? Should we do a tip bucket like a Patreon?
No, we're done. No. They did what they did.
I'm just saying.
Just tell them.
People seem eager to give money to us.
They give the
That's
money.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And
It's
we
not
need
going
money.
to us. It's going to the winner of the
No,
contest.
but some people aren't taking guesses. They're just paying money.
It's still going to go to the winner of the
I know that, but I'm just saying maybe there needs to be an option for people to pay us for the podcast if they want.
Sure. We can start that, but that's not what this is.
So we stop losing money on this.
Yeah, they've already donated for this thing. I feel like whoever wins the contest should just give it back to the podcast.
Yeah.
Minus the t-shirt, and meat rub, and poster. I don't know why I keep doing that sound.
I'm okay, though, because I got coffee.
We ate sandwiches. We just did our podcast, and then we're doing another one.
Yeah,
Pulling back the curtain here.
We had lunch in between episodes.
And Louise recommended a place. Louise doesn't know about food. I've realized he's not a good food guy.
Luis isn't good at decisions.
Dave said he wanted a sandwich.
I threw sandwich is an easy suggestion.
Yeah. So
I'll eat anything.
we went to. I don't want to say the name of the place.
No, don't kill him.
Yeah. Sandwich was fine.
Sandwich was good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But the place was I don't know what was going on there. You did mention you said that he might be helping out people that need jobs that were, I don't know, incarcerated or drug addicts or something. It had that vibe.
He was training. He was
micromanaging is the word I would use.
They might as well have strings on their hands, and he was like, "You got to do this."
There was no one else in there, but the food was fine. Like the sandwich was good. I will say this about the sandwich though: is he asked me, he goes, "You want spicy, regular?" And I said, "Spicy." He goes, "You want spicy mayo?" I said, "Sure." He goes, "You want spicy mustard?" I said, "Sure." "You want spicy cheese?" Like everything spicy. Wasn't spicy. Let's start with that. He put 4 spicy things to equal 0. Maybe because it canceled it out.
Yeah, negative.
Spice. And for a guy that asked me if I wanted all these sauces and stuff, not a lot of sauce on it. It was a little bit drier. But, I'm on the diet.
Bread was good.
So it's okay.
Bread was good.
It wasn't a very good diet thing for you guys. I put $10 and I just had a sandwich. And when we were going to get it, we were possibly going to go to a barbecue place that Louise said they would roll the window down and smell it. Made me sad. They never went there.
When they were kids, they would just go by and roll the
drive by and smell it. One day,
Dad, can we have barbecue today? The smells are free. Papa, can we eat the barbecue? No, today's a smell day.
And we went by there, and
for your birthday, we can taste it.
Dave is a barbecue expert, so I'll
Well, he didn't sell it well. He goes, it's not a good place, but it smells good when you drive by it. Oh, cool. Yeah,
but
I can't
I'm
wait
still
to
going
have
to
it.
defer to you, and we drove by it, and you said, this doesn't look good. And I go, all right, you know way more about barbecue than I do. I don't know shit. And then you said, it's okay, we're getting a sandwich. It's healthier. And I was like, that's not even a thing. Sandwiches, none of them are healthy.
Well,
unless you're getting the sandwich where it's just the lettuce is the bread.
Well, I look at it I look at
protein style.
I look at it from a protein standpoint because at the barbecue place, I was going to eat a ton of pork and beef, red meat, and sausage and things like that. And at a sandwich place, I could get turkey or grilled chicken or things along those lines. So for me, it's healthier.
Do you always say that when you're talking about barbecue? Or just
What?
Sausage, pulled pork,
Is that what I look like?
ribs, and then it's like a turkey. I
didn't know I did that.
I don't know. You just did it there. Listen back to the podcast once in a while, maybe.
Oh man, never.
That place was fine though.
I will say this too.
But here,
Their staple item is an air fried chicken sandwich. And I didn't know we were in a place where air fried has trended its way into actual brick and mortar restaurants. Like I know it's like being like, hey, you got to try our, like going to a restaurant meal. You got to try our crock pot, pork. Like, like that's more like a thing you use at home.
We microwave all our food.
Yeah, dude, we got some awesome microwave turkey.
So it was fine. Like it was fine. It wasn't the best. You could tell right away the sign was jank when we pulled up, but it was fine.
That's good for a sandwich shop. A jank sign.
No, but not jank in the good way. Jank in the janky.
I feel like I'm very good at spotting a good sub shop from the storefront.
Yeah. So we pulled away.
Which one of you two said, I got a good vibe about this place? That
was me.
Dave.
Well,
it was all right. It was good.
And then we pulled away, and as we're pulling away, Louise goes, "Oh my God, there's what's the name of it?
oh, Dulon's
Dulon
Soul
Soul
Food.
Food. Super oh
that's
my God,
the best
man, it's
place
so
ever.
good.
Oh, you haven't lived till you eaten there.
Dulon
If
Soul
only,
Food.
if only someone had lived here their whole life and known it was there and could have
man.
recommended it. We could have had that as a meal
One
instead of
time I
just
was
guessing
there.
places on their sign.
I had an orgasm when I ate there.
They just give you $1 million once a day. Someone wins it.
Well,
Okay.
funny. It sounds like our trip to Florida. Because, I had that bullshit ass fish dip at that first restaurant.
Whoa.
The one restaurant was bad.
Yeah.
Everything else was good.
Yeah, well, you're 0 for 1 so far, Louis.
Yeah. I told you that place wasn't good. Then, you had a nice meal that somebody else paid for that you didn't even thank them for.
Yeah.
I don't remember you doing that. And then we went to the No Name Pub, which was great. You didn't enjoy that?
No, it was good. It was good. I still get emails from them.
Oh, I don't know why. And then wings. Yeah, we didn't do a lot of eating on the tour, but we did. But you had a milkshake that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shut
Well,
up.
now we're even.
You had more good than bad. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Shut up. We took her in a boat.
When you take us to Dulon's next time, then you can start talking shit. And you start to redeem yourself.
Women, orgasm is such a woman's word, huh? Men don't say orgasm a lot.
We say good.
When I just said it, I go, why did I say orgasm? I was trying to be clean on this podcast, but I don't know why. But it doesn't seem like a thing guys say. Like, and then I orgasmed.
Climax.
It's still women's.
Yeah.
Climax is definitely one. And then on the way back from lunch, we heard Pete Holmes on the radio.
Are you going to talk about this?
It's ridiculous. He was on the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Sirius XM.
Because I was flipping. We went through Starbucks. And I was flipping through the Sirius XM channels. And I go, let's see what's on the Disney Channel for Louise, because I know he would like a good Disney song. And right away, it was Pete Holmes was on there. He was DJing. I guess it was called Guest something. I guess it's a program where you can come in and guest.
Be my guest.
Be my guest. There you go.
Yeah.
Which I've done something similar on Raw Dog. It's like the takeover, and you get to go in there, and you're like, here's a track from so-and-so. This is my friend that's a comedian. This is one of my favorite jokes of his or hers, and blah, 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 and you play it. I did that. It takes 20 minutes, by the way. Like, at one point he said, I'm having so much fun. I'm like, I know he did. You were in there for 10 minutes. You didn't have that much fun. It's not like you listened to the songs and danced.
Yeah, I had a blast. I would.
But it was funny because I said, it's just a weird thing anyways that a comedian would be hosting the Disney Channel. And I go, I bet nobody knows who Pete Holmes is on the Disney Channel, even though he's had television shows and stuff. And sure enough, he came back from break and he goes, I bet a lot of you are wondering who I am. And then he had to explain who he was. It was weird. This is weird.
His Netflix special that he was it Netflix or whatever?
It was a special. He has a new special. I don't know where
it's called I'm Not For Everyone.
I'm Not For Everyone. Yeah.
Which isn't, I'm sure it's ironic or whatever.
No, I get yeah.
But just it's not a good title when you're trying to sell people to go.
Well, also when you're like, hey, I bet you don't know who I am. And he's like, I'm not for everyone. Disney Channel. Yeah.
And now here's Moana's.
That's right. He played
song.
Moana. Yeah. He goes, I'm on blast, guys. I'm fucking time of life. Anyways, Pete, thanks for listening to the Mermen podcast.
Yeah.
I knew you were a
Pete
big
Holmes,
fan.
come be a guest sometime.
Nah, he's not gonna be a guest. No. We don't have the footprint he needs.
Yeah.
He's trying to get back on TV.
We are not Disney Radio.
Yeah. No, I meant like we don't have the listenership.
I'm saying we do not have the listenership.
What
Disney
are we up
Radio.
to now? 500,000 an episode?
Yeah, I think just shy of 500,000.
It's pretty good.
Let's get that up.
Pretty good. I know we're not super rich.
We're 82 in Austria.
Why have you been checking the Chartable?
I get an email. You want to see what the latest?
Yeah, I get the email too, but I don't like dive into it. I'm just like, I'm sure we're doing great. 82 in Austria. Fucking, who's in Austria listening to us?
I just picked a random country.
La, la, la,
All right, here we
la,
go. We're down 10 in the United States. We're up 5 in Great Britain to 168.
Good eye.
Canada, number 24, baby.
Hello.
Wow, we're up 102 spots in Canada, 24.
It's probably
Australia.
It's probably Barry Comedy Record. He just plays, puts it on repeat and stuff.
That's a good call.
Him and Tim.
Australia, we're up 15 spots in number 60.
Richard's back in.
Richard's back in.
Been catching up, listening to the podcast.
Sweden, we're in the top 100.
Yeah.
And we've really dropped in New Zealand and Czech Republic.
Oh, yeah, Czech Republic. Oh, well.
So sorry.
Anyways, that was our lunch.
But the guy, I think what the bigger point you're making is that he was like a real like micromanager. And he was like really, but I respect that. I would rather see that to a flaw than someone who doesn't give a shit about their business.
If you're standing on the other side of the counter, not doing anything, and just saying, wrap that up.
Yeah, that's
put
power
it in the bag.
It's a power move.
No pickles. No pickles. And he's like, drop a spicy chick.
Yeah, but you got to make them do it so that that's how you learn.
Yeah, but
he
he was on the other side of the counter. That's weird.
He
was standing where you would standing if you order, but he was taking our order on that side.
I thought it was relatable. I felt like a friend that was helping me order.
No.
But that's what In-N-Out does too, though, right? You get a double-double, they're like, that, too bad, down.
No, but other side of the counter. He was on this side of the counter, and then he flipped the machine around. So
like Forrest would be mad if you went. You know how like at In-N-Out sometimes the guys are standing out there taking your order instead of thing. He'd be like, "You're not supposed to be out here. This is weird.
No, that's fine.
You're supposed to order from the machine. You're supposed to be in the building on the intercom. That's the way it's always been done."
That's fine. They have an iPad. They're standing with the iPad facing you under an awning. It's built for that. This was the side of the register that you stand on. Anyway, and then he's like shouting stuff across. I'm like, get over there and do it, bro.
Well, they were like 3 feet away.
Yeah, it was like, drop a dick.
Drop a spicy.
Give me back. Hey, wait, let me see that macaroni salad. Let me get that back real quick.
Yeah, he came and took mine and said it was wrong, and it was
dumped some out.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, he said you didn't like the looks that you did. He didn't like you gentrifying Inglewood, which I didn't know that was downtown Inglewood.
Yeah, because I couldn't figure out why he took it back. Because all they did is take it out of the cooler. No, but seriously,
he had one of those people spitting it.
He took
spitting it.
He took it out of the cooler, or the employee did, and put it in the bag. And then I went over and I sat and it was just sitting on the counter next to me.
That was a bad one.
And
or a good one.
Was it maybe? Was it a bad one?
He didn't want
Maybe because I asked for a mac salad after. He's like, we don't got any. I'm like, huh? I'm like, what do you mean?
He took half my mac salad
and put it in mine
and gave it to and sold it to you.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted at mine too.
I didn't get it.
That's exactly what. Oh, you didn't get it?
No, they had run out.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, but that's what
he didn't have enough. He goes, oh, they messed this up. I got to redo it. And then he took it and he brought it back. Oh, that's shade. You're right. I don't like this guy. What if I was like, nah, this is good?
Gentrification, dude. You're the problem.
I don't know why people get so mad at gentrification. Isn't it just progress?
This is your neighborhood, Luis. What do you think?
I think Dave's the perfect spokesperson for gentrification not being too bad.
I'm asking. I'm trying to learn.
What do you mean you're trying to learn? Are you a moron?
No, I'm just the mouthpiece of the people.
Well, I think people would get upset because there's a neighborhood where historically that might have been a lesser economic level.
Yeah.
And then people that have more means decided to move into that neighborhood and buy things out and make it unaffordable for the people that live there. And now they have nowhere to live, or they're pushed even further out or to another neighborhood that they don't want to be in that's not close to where they work or their family.
So it's not just that they still live in the same neighborhood, but now they can get really good coffee. It's that.
Put it this way. I've lived in some neighborhoods before that were when I didn't have a lot of money, and I would go and I wasn't paying a lot of rent, and the neighborhood was like a different economic level than, let's say, living in Beverly Hills or Malibu or something. And this isn't in LA. And then I would go to the grocery store and I'd be like, wow, these prices are good because they were at the level for the people in that neighborhood because they didn't have to pay as much rent, or they knew that's what people would afford. And as soon as something becomes gentrified, then all of a sudden all the prices start to go up because all the rent goes up. And then instead of there being a store where you can buy meat and groceries and stuff, it's like, all we sell is essential oils here or some bullshit.
I think what's happening is...
I remember that Louis said years ago, it stuck with me, and I see it all the time when I'm driving out here, and it makes me laugh. He goes, I knew I was in trouble when the Jamba Juice showed up, which is just a Jamba now. But yeah, as soon as you see a Jamba Juice, you're fucked. Yeah, because that's like just,
I see.
That's definitely some white people shit.
Well, I feel like the earth is being gentrified then because pretty much everywhere.
Let's go for it.
Dave Williamson.
Wait, what? Although there's nowhere that's not happening right now. Like you can't go to the grocery store and buy anything anymore. It's like it's ridiculous. Dude.
Yeah, but
I can't believe
people that already live in the neighborhood. What are they supposed to do? Be homeless?
Yeah. No,
but then the argument would be like, well, your property is worth a lot more now. It's like, sure, you can sell it, but now you can't move anywhere.
No, I'm telling you, my neighborhood's being gentrified. I go to the grocery store and I can't afford shit anymore. Gas, forget about it. I'm just saying the world feels very gentrified.
You live in LA, so it's a very expensive city. But
so I'm going to be pushed out to like Bakersfield or something.
Look, I bring it up a lot in the show, but if I had to move to Bakersfield, I won't make it to 65 before I kill myself. That's a sad place. That's where Arnie's from.
Oh, your dog.
Yeah. Imagine being a dog just sweating in Bakersfield with all your matted hair. Just poor little guy.
Yeah.
Stunner.
You really did rescue him.
I did, yeah. That's only a joke I do in LA when I say, because I have the joke about him being racist, and I go, I don't know. I got him from a rescue in Bakersfield, so there's a 50% chance. That kills in LA.
Yeah.
But if you don't live in LA, you don't know what we're talking about, but you get it.
I remember Doug Benson did a Bakersfield joke on Last Comic Standing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I lived in Florida at the time. I'm like, what's he talking about?
What the fuck's Bakersfield? Yeah. Bakersfield is like if you're in LA and you're driving north, there's a whole mountain range that you got to drive through. And when you get on the other side of that mountain range, you go all the way back down the mountains, you're now in the Dust Bowl. If you've ever read The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck and that shit, and it's a whole ag area and stuff like that, but it's also, there's no breeze from the ocean. There's none of that nice California weather that you're expecting. That's on the other side of the mountains, along the coast in LA. And it's just this city that's only there probably because it's on the other side of the mountains. There might be some ag things there. Where I think Merle Haggard's from there, and it is a fucking class A shit box.
There's a cool comedy club there.
Thank you to our listeners in Bakersfield.
Yeah. I've done some great comedy shows there. The people are very nice.
I've had some good comedy shows there too, so I don't know where they're coming from. They're just so sad. They're like, please, let me make us laugh.
Yeah.
Live in Bakersfield. It's hot as fuck. That's the main problem. Like, every time I've been there, it's like 120 degrees.
Well, I think that guy was just taking pride in his business. Have you ever worked at a restaurant before?
I thought you just said you were out because of this macaroni salad incident.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that made me mad.
I've worked at a restaurant. We talked about this, yeah. I've worked at many restaurants. I've worked as a server, a chef, a line cook, a sandwich maker, a dishwasher, a busboy, a bar back. I have not bartended ever.
Man, your bingo card's full.
And door guy. Yeah, done it all. What about you?
Well, one time in college, my water polo team did a fundraiser, and we had to run the concession stand at a football game.
Concession stand?
Yeah.
That's the scope of your entire...
It was the worst 2 hours of my life.
Culinary arts.
Let me tell you something. To defend these people today at the restaurant, when you get flung into that position, it's hard to think under pressure in that situation. They'd come up, people were like, I want a hot dog, I want a hot pretzel, I want that. And you would think that's pretty simple math, but I remember just freezing in that situation and just being like, just give me money.
Being in the weeds.
Yeah.
The concession stand? That's so everything's already made. You're just handing shit.
No, we
then you just say, how many hot dogs? Okay,
we'd assemble the sandwiches and put them in the bag, and then you try to.
That's not a concession.
But also, it's not like we had a manager there taking care of it. There was literally 8 college kids, and it's like, here's your booth, have fun.
What do you mean booth? I don't understand what's going on here. Why were you running a concession stand?
They used to do this thing where the different organizations at school could raise money by running a concession stand.
No.
The school would sponsor you basically.
Yeah, so
So
there's
Auburn
no
water
pressure in that.
polo, we're like, we could do it.
No pressure.
Yeah, I think I walked out.
You're at a place where already the people know coming up that this is to raise money. They're not going to be like, never going back to this concession stand.
No,
Fucking
they didn't. They didn't know
one
that.
star.
They thought we worked there, and
Did you also say it was a 2-hour shift?
Yeah.
I think I quit after 2 hours. I think I was like, I'm going to the game.
Wait, and by the way, it's a concession stand. No one's like worst concession stand I've ever been to.
Yeah.
So that's the only
Well, I work
thing
with.
that you've done in the restaurant or food service industry.
Well, no, I've done a lot in the food service industry the past 5 or 6 years since I got into barbecue. I've catered stuff, and I've helped my buddies with big events and things like that. So
Yeah, but that's not
I've
a
done deep
restaurant.
dive. But I've
I'm
never
talking about
gone
a-
and
I'm
filled out
talking
an
about-
application at a restaurant and been a waiter. Yeah, I never.
I mean, like a restaurant where people are like,
no, I've never.
"Where's
never,
my food?"
Never. I worked at my dad's business when I was growing up, and I worked at a water park in college. Those are my
Holy
jobs.
cow! I've worked at so many Chicken Kitchen. I told you I worked there.
Chicken Kitchen was the best. Do you know how to make that mustard curry sauce?
Yes.
Let's make it.
I mean, I don't remember, but I made it many times. So maybe I should rephrase my answer. So I wouldn't remember all the ingredients, but I've made a lot of that mustard curry sauce.
We should go get jobs at Sports Grill and learn how to make those wings.
Yeah, that's
And
what we
then
should
quit.
do. That's what we should do. And get the recipe.
Just
I guarantee you at a
under
restaurant
a
like
cup.
that where the wings are really good and there's certain recipes that they don't probably give you access to all of that.
Well, they don't tell you how to make the mix. They just go, here's a jug of the mix. Put it on.
Maybe. I worked at a place called Paolo Luigi's in Coconut Grove, which is an Italian restaurant where all the basketball players would come.
Papa Luigi's?
I worked at a fish restaurant in Coral Gables. I worked at TGI Fridays. It's fucking terrible.
Did you have flair?
Yeah, of course I fucking had flair. I had to wait tables. Can you imagine me waiting tables?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just, broccoli cheddar soup? Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
What if you had someone that you were taking the order and they were like, okay, imagine this is the only time I ever get to eat at TGI Fridays in Miami in my life. What would you recommend? I
So
have?
Louise is
Yeah,
there.
that's every time I go anywhere. That's how he orders shit.
Imagine
Okay. Let me ask you, can I ask you a question?
if you had never been here, what would you?
Hypothetical scenario.
If you were
It's my
dying tomorrow.
last day on Earth and aliens want me to pick them up some food on the way to the spaceship.
Yeah.
If I wanted to make a good first impression, what should I order at your establishment?
And by the way, aliens don't like onions. Just a note, just side note. I also worked at Rulof's, famously. I've talked about that. That's how I got on one of the ways that helped me to get on the Conan O'Brien show.
Oh, that was up at your college, and you worked there with the guy JP that books it, right?
Yeah. I cooked there. I done it all, man. Let me tell you, man, I done it all.
You have any good stories from like the kitchen or like from the?
I murdered a guy and
What?
left him in the walk-in freezer. Hope they don't find him. Statute of limitations. Been too long. You find out? Doesn't matter. I did it.
I know nothing.
I think there's a lot of good stories, but we used to get really high all the time. That's the thing. Like, so we would be cooking, and Rulof's was like it wasn't like a fine dining establishment, but it was a place where you're like,
It was fine.
this is a little bit better. You don't know. You've never been there.
It was fine.
What was it? What they serve?
Oh, I don't know. I was just making a joke. It was not a fine dining.
Oh, I got it. Good joke. Good joke. Edit that out.
Dave Williamson.
Come on, bro.
He pointed for that.
I know. I was pandering for one too.
But it was like we'd make all the soups from scratch. We would cook all the meats for the sandwiches. You know,
love a good soup.
we would make like all the desserts from scratch, and quiches and all. Everything was like fresh. So it wasn't. You were like, hey, let's go to Rulof's. Not bad. When you work in a kitchen, though, it is funny. No matter how nice the restaurant is, and you could be maybe Michelin star restaurants where there's very neat kitchens and everything. But no matter how good the food is somewhere, if you work there, you're always like, who the fuck's eating this slop? It's kind of like when you're doing your jokes, and sometimes you look at your joke list right before you go on stage and you're like, you ever do that? And you're like,
Yeah.
Who's laughing at this? Because
Yeah.
you're so used to it in your head, you're just like,
Well, jokes are the ingredients of our act, and the set list is the recipe, and you're just up on stage cooking. I like that
Dave
analogy.
Williamson.
Come on.
yeah.
That was a good analogy. You were
Just
supposed to
end
get
the
on board
podcast
with it.
right now. You know what they say. Judy Gold and her, who was it? Judy, who wrote the book?
Judy Blue, no,
Judy Carter.
Judy Carter.
Yeah, wrote
The comedy Bible or whatever.
Comedy Bible.
Yeah, chapter 2. Ingredients.
Jokes are the
You gotta make
ingredients.
you're the chef. You gotta make the recipe.
Man, we should write a comedy book.
but
a
do it
terrible
wrong.
one. Yeah, but and then
Create a bunch of bad comments.
yeah. There's a guy that just wrote a book about stand-up comedy. His name's Adam Bloom. And
Sam Talent.
he's Adam Bloom. He's a British comic. Jim Jeffries is friends with him. And Amos was reading some excerpts to me, and it actually was really good the way he described it. I think he's sold a lot of copies too. He's a very funny comic from over there. I don't know him that well, but
That would be really funny if we wrote a book and just totally intentionally dive bomb people's careers.
yeah, what not to do when you're doing stand-up comedy. Chapter 1, buy this book.
Yeah.
That would be the first chapter. I think we should do this.
When you first show up at the comic club, you want to assert dominance in the green room.
Yeah. Take your dick out and or vagina. Piss on everything. Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Let's sidebar in that. I think we can do that.
Sidebar.
What was I talking about? This restaurant. So I'd eat a lot of food there,
Yeah.
but I'd also be like, who's eating this? Even though I'd make it and it was fun. But we would go and get high in the walk-in fridge,
On marijuana.
No, heroin. We'd shoot up before the shift. They'd be like, he's asleep on the grill again.
I've heard the restaurant, and I've watched the Bear. They do crazy shit.
They do heroin on the Bear?
Nah, probably some cocaine.
Cocaine, yeah, that would be one that you would do. Maybe we know this is pot, and we would just carve out a vegetable or a fruit, a carrot or an apple, something. Sometimes
Into a pipe.
Yeah, just make a little pipe. That way you can keep it in the walk-in.
Clever.
And it just looks like it. And for some reason, I thought that the weed smell you wouldn't be able to smell in the walk when you walked in. Apparently you could. I was like, oh, get sucked out the fan. There's a fan there. It goes
It freezes. The particles freeze and fall to the ground.
Cold New York air. This was in Ithaca, New York. And we got really high one time. And then the guy that I was cooking with kept telling the people he was sending the food out to, because we'd have to make specials. So there was a set menu, and you'd have to make 2 dinner specials and like a sandwich special, and then like you'd have like some sort of chicken or beef or seafood special. There'd be a soup special only for that day, and then a sandwich special or something like that nature. And you'd have to make that menu up at the beginning of each shift. And sometimes you'd be going through the walk and like, what the fuck? Because it'd always be like, we need to get rid of it. It wasn't bad stuff, but we're like, hey, this stuff's gonna be bad in a week, so let's get rid of it. And whatever was being made that night, I don't remember what the other things were, but there was like a spinach side dish of some sort. I don't know if it was cream spinach or something. And the guy I was working with, God, I wish I remembered his name, so I tried to find him on social media. I was good friends with that guy. And because we do a lot of drugs together and like just ecstasy and this and that and get high and have fun. But
good friend.
But God, what was his name? Anyways, he kept going. He goes, hey, we were smoking pot in the Walkin Fridge, and he kept going to all the servers that would come by and be like, hey, there's a little extra, a little something special in there, if you know what I'm talking about, in that spinach. And then the servers were like, are you guys putting weed in the spinach? And he's like, nah. And he was fucking with him, like, and then every time I come in, I was like, have the customer said anything about the spinach yet? Like, have you noticed any change in their behavior or whatever? And then the servers eventually were just like, very funny, whatever. And then he turned to me, like, this is like an hour and a half in, and he goes, yeah, man, I thought people would really be getting high because I've been putting weed in the spinach. I'm like, wait, you're actually putting weed in the spinach? Like, yeah, I thought you were fucking with these people. They think you're fucking
That's
with them.
highly illegal.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah.
He was dosing people.
That's what he said. I don't know if it was true or not. Because I didn't know if he was fucking with me or not. I was really high.
Most drug guys don't give their...
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But then it said, but I was so high, maybe he was fucking with me, blah, blah, blah. But, and then I will tell you this. Never say, this is a tip if you ever work in a restaurant. Never say that the chefs or the cooks or whoever's back there did anything wrong. All the mistakes are made in the front of the house.
I've heard this before.
Yeah, maybe I've said this on here before. But like, because we had these servers that would be there sometimes, and they'd be like, they're really slow in the kitchen tonight, or I'm sorry, but like whatever. And then people psychologically won't come back to restaurants if they think there's a problem in the kitchen. But if there's a server, it's just one person. They can't see the kitchen. The kitchen's like an abstract entity.
Because if they have a bad experience and they blame the server, they'll be like, well, we'll go back there because we're going to get a different server.
Yeah, food was good. It took a while, but it was
if they have some in their head where they think that the kitchen's messed up, they're going to be like, well, it's going to be messed up every time we go. Their kitchen sucks.
But they don't usually do that because they're trying to work for tips. So there was always this fight with us where we're like, don't tell, we got a ton of tickets up, whatever. Except one time when there was a BandAid in the sandwich that I sent out, and that was my
Was it
fault.
your BandAid?
Yeah. I took my glove off. I think I mentioned that on this podcast. Man. I took
I've
my
never
glove
heard
off.
this.
I had a cut in my finger. You get cut in the kitchen, so I bandaged it up, and then I put gloves on.
Especially when you're working inebriated.
Yeah. And I was I was sober most of the time. I was sober 95% of the time. I worked. And it was like we're in the weeds, and we had this thing called a California sandwich, and you had to like slice avocado real thin and put it on the turkey and sprouts and stuff.
Love that.
And I couldn't get with my glove, so I took the glove out for 1 second like that to like get the avocado. My hands were clean like this, and I cut the sandwich. And when I cut it, it somehow pulled the band off. I put it right. You know when you open up a sandwich like this to present it, it was right there. There was a Band-Aid, but I did not see it. It went out, and the owner of the restaurant was like helping. You know, she came back and she goes, "Hey, any idea whose Band-Aid this is?" And I just looked down at my hand. I was like,
It was a manatee one.
I'm sorry. What did you tell them?
Oh, I've been looking for that.
she
And
goes,
you
"I
take
ha-
it back, put it on your finger.
She's like, I handled it. Don't worry. I was like, that's not good. They won't be back. I don't think there's going to be a repeat customer.
I can't think of much worse things than a Band-Aid or a bug are the worst things you can get in your food, I think. Even a hair.
A Band-Aid's worse.
Like a hair, you can take the hair out and
a
keep
bug
keep
could have
chowing.
gotten in there. That's what happens. Bugs get in there. Band-Aid seems like intentional almost. Like, don't fucking ever come back here.
And it's just always worse when it's something human. You don't want to like
Human.
Yeah, you'd rather step in dog shit than human shit. It's just gross.
So we would get into a lot of fights, like in the back of the kitchen with the servers. And then I had a girl that was like, I think I would say she was stalking me. I feel like I've told this story before, but I don't know.
You get a lot of stalkers.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I've told this before. Yeah, why? When else was a stalker?
There was I remember someone in Florida that used to bring you a lot of gifts, and then
I remember.
there was that one that wanted you to be a bear or something like that, right? Wrote you a letter.
That was a gay guy that wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, the cat, the girl. That wasn't a stalker. That was just one that wrote to me and wants to dress up like a cat and
No, there.
have sex with me. I don't know whatever that's called.
No, I don't want to put him on blast, but
Okay.
it was this person. She used to kind of fanboy out about all the local South Florida comics, but she really liked you, and I think she brought you like a necktie or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, there was a woman that I lived with, and this is all true. I don't even care, but I'm not gonna say her dad wrote a famous.
Oh wait, now you have someone stalking you now, right?
I do.
Someone showed up at your house recently.
That was like an ex that showed up at my old house
Yeah.
and thought I was still there, and she was either high or
Stalker.
unstable, and she was like, "I know he lives here.
Yeah, that's
I
a
know his
stalker.
dog's name." I was like, "Yeah, it's been a year, so whatever." Anyways, so this woman, I lived with her for a summer, and she was a musician. Her dad wrote a very famous movie that was like a cult favorite.
Mary Poppins.
Nope. Like people would always say, "Warriors, come out and play."
Oh, Warriors?
Yeah, I wrote that.
Wow.
movie. So I just gave away who her dad is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No one knows that off the top of their head.
IMDb. Yeah. Anyways, when we had sex one time, but we weren't dating.
Attaboy.
And
Did you wear a Band-Aid?
yeah, it fell off. She got pregnant. No. But that was it. Like we had to, I moved away in the town. I moved onto the lake, and the move where I was like 7-8 miles out, way outside of. It's like 7-8 miles outside of a small town is far away from a small town. You know, it was on the lake, and she just wanted to be in a relationship, so she kept kind of like, I guess, stalking me, whatever. Like she showed up like places where I was at, you know, and she'd like she was just trying to get intimate, right, with me. And one day I show up to work, and guess who is now hired as a new server? This woman.
Classic stalker move, bro.
And so I was
Now we have to spend all of our time together.
yeah, and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. No. You know, and so she was there, and she was just like, she would try to be like, you know, try to like talk to, I told people in the kitchen, I was like, you can be mean to her, don't worry, like be like, don't like be super mean, but you don't have to be nice to
Yeah,
her. Like,
don't punch her.
I don't want her to work here anywhere, you know. So anyways, cut to she started coming out to the lake house where we lived, but she didn't have a car, so she'd ride her bike all the way out there, which is, you know, pretty far.
She's like, I might as well spend the night.
And my two roommates one time called me and they said, "Hey, we just saw her in the bushes hiding, like at the house." Like, what? What do you mean hiding? Like, well, we pulled up and I think she thought she was going to hide from us. So she jumped in these bushes, not realizing those are the bushes that our headlights would go on for where we parked, you know? And I go, oh, well, that's crazy. And then she biked away. And I go, well, we've never locked the door to this house either because it was all the way on the lake.
Yeah.
Anyways, about a week later, everybody's gone. I had my roommates. I had 2 roommates, and everyone's gone. It's like a stormy night, very stereotypical.
Oh,
whatever.
It was a stormy night at the lake house.
And,
you should have told this story on the Halloween episode.
Anyways, I just hear my door open in my bedroom, and like literally in the backlit whatever.
Forrest?
It's her. Yeah, she's like wakes me up, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, you can't.
What are you doing in my house?
Yeah, this is the way I remember it. At least it was very scary.
She just came into your house,
Yeah,
and then what did she think was gonna happen? You're gonna be like, oh hey, you want to get in bed?
I think so.
So what did you say? You were like, what the fuck are you doing in here?
I said, you can't sleep here, and you got to sleep in another bedroom. She was in a band with my housemates at one point, so she knew them too. It wasn't like completely, but it still was like, fuck. To be at this house, it would be like if somebody showed up in Ontario, like that far away, like California, you're like, I was just in a neighborhood, I rode my bike here. Like it was far as fuck.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm like, you can't sleep here, blah, 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 whatever. I gave her some pajamas or something to, you know, like, 'cause she was like,
she loved that.
yeah. So then a week later, we're having our Christmas party, or a couple weeks later, or maybe it was like a month later. It was sometime we're having our Christmas party for the restaurant we work at, and I'm sitting there with the kitchen crew because it was very segregated. We're like, with the kitchen here, you guys over there. And
Yeah, it's like the car dealership. We have like the service department, the mechanics, the sales guys.
She walks up to the table and she goes, hey, and she just puts my pajamas on the table in front of everybody in the kitchen. She goes, here's the pajamas from the other night when I slept at your house. And they all looked at me like, yeah, they didn't believe me now that I was like not sleeping with her. I was like, I did not. This woman's stalking me. She works here. Make her fire. And then
I feel bad. Here's the DNA I collected from you.
And then like a week after that, yeah, this is close to Christmas, she just came up and she's like, yeah, I'm buying Christmas presents now for my boyfriend, whatever. And she had found some other guy. She latched onto him, and I was like, that guy's problem now.
Yeah.
Have fun, buddy.
Blessings.
Thank God. She's a pretty good singer. And she wasn't like just pretty. I don't know. Maybe I did something wrong. That's the way I remember the story.
Do you feel guilty about it?
No, not at all. Not at all. She's not listening to the podcast, but eventually, when this podcast gets to 55 million listeners,
yeah,
they'll be like, hey.
People are binging it, bro. I get that a lot. People say that they discover it and then they start binging.
Not this episode. They'll stop.
Yeah.
Because
it's been a good run.
Because of your jokes at the beginning.
I have a hard time doing 2 in a row. I use all my, because I don't hold back. So I just let it all go. And then if we're doing a second episode, I don't have a lot left. I'm pretty tired. That sandwich really.
Is this your contribution?
It's like a food.
Just need to carry the rest of this podcast?
Yeah. Well, you're doing a good job so far.
Not really.
You're telling stories and I'm just listening. I mean, I never worked in the
You want to take a nap?
That'd be great. Could we just do like 10 minutes of us napping?
Oh, we could do 10 minutes. You take a nap, and I'll say things about you.
Okay.
Take your headphones off, though. Put them down. No. Put them down on the table, headphones. What's your head? It's on the fucking siren, the air siren.
So that's where I like to nap.
Yeah.
I put it on here?
Yeah.
All right,
Everybody, Dave's napping. And, yeah, turn me up. There you go. Can you hear me, Dave? Hey, fuckface. All right, Dave is pretending to sleep. He's snoring, but he's not sleeping. But, what is this fucking outfit? Did he switch shirts, please? From the first episode?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I forgot to change clothes.
Oh, you can hear this.
What?
You can hear me.
Oh, no.
Oh, this is not fun. I was going to make fun of you.
I just heard you say shirt.
You're not supposed to be listening.
Sorry.
And don't fake snore. Okay. Starting next week, this will just be me. It'll be called the Mermen Podcasts. And I know there's one of those out there, but we'll blow that guy off the internet. So Dave won't be in the podcast anymore because he doesn't contribute at all, except when he fucking wants to be mean and yell at people at a Starbucks drive-thru.
That's not true, bro.
Yeah.
Stop it. That's blasphemous.
What? What happened?
I'll contribute as much as you want me to contribute. I'm just good at sitting and letting you.
What part did you hear?
I heard all of it.
Oh. What part got you upset? When I said
that I don't contribute.
Oh, that was way before that. Are you on tape delay or something? I started talking about how you yelled at the woman in the Starbucks drive-thru and then tried to pretend it was me.
Yeah, it's called a prank.
Prank.
I pranked her.
You're fucking...
Gotcha.
What was the thing you said you did when we were driving? And I was like, what was that, Louise? He goes, hey, we used to do XYZ. And I was like, that is some bully ass shit. Remember?
I don't remember.
Yeah. I said, she's working at Starbucks making fuck all money. Mm-hmm. You yelled at her first, then you're trying to pretend like it was me. Then when we went to pay, I couldn't read it, and you knew that it was to give a tip, and you said, oh, he doesn't want to tip you, even though clearly I'm taking your card to pay for the coffee. You said, he doesn't want to tip you. And then we drove off, and you go, yeah, man, she's thinking, like, and you go,
that's not what I said.
Yeah.
I said that after, because she goes, it's going to, the little handhold thing, she goes, it's going to ask you a question.
I didn't hear that.
And you were like, huh?
Yeah, because the fan was blowing.
Oh, I've never been to Starbucks 700 times before. Know the routine.
I've never.
And she's like, it's going to ask. And then she just got she got frustrated with you not hearing her. And she just took it and hit no tip and went. And then I went, did this guy just not tip you? That's what I said.
Yeah, but it wasn't this guy. It was you.
I know, but I was, you're making the decision at that point. So then I was going to tell you, like, put a tip on it. And then she was just like,
why did you get a coffee if you're not going to be awake?
I mean, I'm working on it.
Is it empty?
Yeah.
And you're not awake from that?
I mean, it's hitting me. Mostly just making me sweaty. Have you ever worked at a coffee shop?
What is this episode that you're trying to do here? Tell us about that.
I've
never worked at a coffee shop. I don't like coffee. I'm not going to work at a coffee shop. I worked at a bakery. That was close. I had to slice a lot of bread.
The realest part-time job I've ever had, because I worked for my dad's company most of my childhood. But the realest job, I had stayed up at Auburn for a summer, and there was this water park.
And I worked there for 3 hours, and I was like, see you later, guys.
No, I worked there.
Back home to your dealership.
I worked there the whole summer. But because a bunch of my friends, this was it. A bunch of my friends were lifeguards there. So I was like, all right, cool, man. I want to work there too. But I wasn't lifeguard certified. So I had to just apply for whatever job they had. So I'd either work the front doing taking money at the front and putting the wristbands on the kids, or I worked back in the tube rental thing. So I don't know. I might have told this already in the podcast, but it was fun for me to pass time. First of all, I ate a shit ton of ice cream sandwiches because we could just say, oh, we found a melted box and then just write it off. So we would just sit back there and eat the ice cream sandwiches. And then when the kids would come up, I would go, there's 2 size tubes. And I go, do you want the little tube or do you want the fallopian tube? And then I tried to get the kids to be like, the fallopian tube. And I thought it was the funniest joke every time I got them to say it. And then
you were in college?
I was in college, yeah.
Yeah.
And
you just learned what a fallopian tube was when you're 20?
No, I was learning what being clever was, and it was.
This was the birth of your stand-up career.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. This is when you become very famous. You're going to tell the story.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Here's one of my first hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. It worked all summer. My favorite would be if a kid went back to their parents.
But it only worked for you.
And they would come back and go.
That's not for the masses. That joke's for you.
What? Yeah. Well, and whoever was working with me loved it too.
Yeah, but then they heard it 500 times.
Yeah. It was fun every time.
Yeah. No, it's not.
And then the kid would go back to their parent and be like, Mom, can I have the fallopian tube? That's the cool one. Can I have the fallopian? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm over there going,
and then the parent would come over and be like, did you just fucking say fallopian tube to my kid? Why didn't you just say dick nozzle?
I would go, it was him.
Yeah. You want the urethra?
Well, I used to do a thing with the urethra too.
Of course you did. That's not being a stand-up. Anyways, keep going.
So I have a bit that I've told on stage a lot about a time in college when I got a chicken wing stuck in my nose. It's a real story. I was eating a chicken wing and I laughed. And so, you spit milk out your nose. That happened with a chicken wing.
With the bone?
No. I just deboned it. I literally had just pulled the bones out.
I imagine like a whole flat.
I took a flat.
That would be hilarious.
I took a flat. I put it in my mouth. I pulled the bones out. And my buddy Casey made me laugh. And I giggled. And it went up into my nose cavity. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't make it go either direction. I couldn't hawk it up as a loogie or make it go the rest of the way out. And then I realized it was a Cajun wing because the spices started hitting my sinuses. And I started going blind. And I freaked out. I couldn't figure out what to do. And I couldn't really get any of it to come out. So I just went to bed. I was just like, I'm just going to sleep. And then the next morning,
What do you mean?
I had to get up for work, and I still had a chicken wing in my head, and it had
You
been
went to
rotting.
sleep with chicken in your fucking
Yeah,
sinuses?
that wasn't smart. I was a kid.
And your sinuses still fucked up now?
Maybe that's why I snore.
You ever neti pot?
Yeah, neti pots are good. Yeah.
You should have nettied the
Well,
chicken wing out.
I had no idea what a neti pot was back then. So then I had to go to work the next day. So I just plugged the nostril up and I just blew as hard as I could until it blew out my nose. But then there were still remnants in my nose for like a week, right? So I went to work at the water park, and I was working the front gate that day, and I was literally, dude, I'll never forget this. I was
Sneezed it out.
I was putting a wristband on this kid's hand, and I like went like like that. And and one went into my mouth, and the second one in my mouth, I tasted it. It was so bad that I like kind of went like this, like that, you know. And when I did that,
How many days after?
this is the next day. And when I went like that, a chunk shot out of my nose and landed on this kid's hand. Jesus. And I had to wipe it off real quick. And then the kid's like, Mom, something just like, and I'm like, hey, did you go in the are you going to go in the wave pool today? The wave pool's cool. The wave pool's cool. And I was just like, don't tell your parents. That was my job. And one time this lady was there, and she had the first time I ever saw someone with a third nipple. It was a real
You should have
redneck
hit
water
Dave
park.
Williamson thing 5 times by now, dude. I'm not gonna tell you how to do your job, but I'm
one?
telling you to do it
Which
now.
one?
The whole time he was doing that story, you should have been Dave
To celebrate-
Williamson, Dave
celebrate.
Williamson, Dave
Thought I was
Williamson.
overdoing it earlier.
Put them all in there.
Dave Williamson.
Yeah.
Dave
Yeah,
Williamson.
yeah. The whole story. you
Dave
should have been doing that.
Williamson.
It's a good story though. It's just gross.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's the whole time I was like, I couldn't.
Dave.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Dave Williamson.
Yeah, the whole time that was in my head. What do you mean third nipple?
There was this late. It was funny too because it was a really redneck water park, and these people would drive up with their kids. And it was a kind of water park where just as many people were swimming in cut off jeans as were swimming in like swimming suits. Like they would just.
Yeah, you're in Alabama.
Yeah, it was like they were going to the creek to swim instead of like an actual like establishment. Like they were just like
Again, you were in Alabama.
yeah.
And not
Alabama,
even
very
like-
close to the Georgia border, and it was just the brightest of both.
What was the name of the water park?
Man, I've tried to remember. I want to say it was something like Surf Ridge or Surfside. Or
Yokels.
we're definitely really far from anything surf.
Was it Yokels only?
But they would
That's what it should have been called.
they would treat it like
you get
a
that one?
They would
you get-
yokels.
Yokels only. It's like locals only?
Yeah, I got that. Okay,
I was like Yokels only. Yeah,
I like it.
That's all they accept is Yokels.
all right.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. You know what was better than? Your fucking recipe joke.
Yeah.
That'll live as the worst joke ever told on this podcast.
It wasn't a joke. It was an analogy.
Whatever it was,
Yeah.
worst ever on this
I
podcast.
thought I was being very serious.
It makes me long for listening to Pete Holmes.
So these
Fine.
people would just drop their kids off, and like they'd be like, "We'll pick you up in 6 hours," and there's just like 7-year-olds that should not be. They were using lifeguards as babysitters. Basically, they're like, "Keep them from drowning. See you later. We're going to get drunk in a field." And this one lady walked up to the tube rental thing to get an ice cream sandwich, and she was very attractive. And I'm like, finally, an attractive person here. And as I'm talking to her, I look down and I'm like, why does she have extra nipples on her stomach that aren't covered?
I had an uncle with 2 dicks.
What?
Yeah.
Like 2 urethras?
Did you want to say urethra?
Yeah. I was going to try to fit it in somewhere. Alley-oop.
Nah, he just had like one regular dick and then a little tiny dick off of that dick.
And did he show it to you? How do you know this information?
It was in a magazine.
What?
Yeah.
No, you're making all this up.
Penthouse form.
Did it ever get caught in your nose?
No, that's your job.
It was really traumatic. I didn't eat chicken wings for like a couple weeks.
That's great. I think we're done.
Yeah, this has been exhausting.
For you, not me. I've been fine. I didn't eat the tainted
I was
tainted macaroni salad that you did.
But is that what did it, you think? Good thing he took some of the volume away from me.
He gave you the Benadryl salad.
I can't believe that guy did that.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why, because it's pre-made, so there's not like they can mess it up. It's not like they forgot to put the seasoning on top or something.
I had it. It was fine.
He just took it and then he brought it back to me, and I'm like, what's the difference?
I'll tell you what the problem was with that is on their menu. You just write macaroni salad, but they wrote made with pasta and some
Yeah,
sort of
mayonnaise,
dressing. And
bell
from
peppers.
Southern charm. And you're like, this is macaroni salad.
Yeah.
And if you just would have put macaroni salad on the side,
They didn't write that. They
would have
wrote
been fine.
They wrote world famous mac, which to me says macaroni and cheese. But then I read the ingredients and I was like, oh, that's macaroni salad.
Yeah, and then when you ordered it, you act like you hadn't read that.
Yeah, I did do that.
This
right.
is what David goes, hey, you wouldn't happen to have like a macaroni salad like I just read on the menu, would you? And the guy was like, we do have macaroni salad, but he said it weird. And then
do you have maybe like a potato salad? And he goes, nope, just the macaroni salad.
You wouldn't happen to have bread back there, would you? Come see me in Austin.
We have a voicemail. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
want
yeah.
It's one voicemail, 2 texts.
All right,
Are
knock it
they,
out.
they're not deforestation ones, right? That's over.
There's one kind of clarifying a payment, but then they also ask a question. So
Okay, I guess we'll do it.
Yeah, we're not going to record for a few weeks, so go ahead.
Yeah,
one voicemail.
Hey, what's up, boys? John from Connecticut calling back in.
J-Con.
Just wanted to reach out, listen to the podcast.
Why is he so
Dave,
loud?
I am the Jonathan that Venmo'd you the $10. My guess was 33 pounds.
Ah.
So that's all paid. John, short for Jonathan. So, yeah, we're good to go there.
Don't blow
As
him up.
far as a question, I know, Dave, you mentioned about
Wait,
kneecapping
pause.
a lady.
How many
Golf-
pounds?
33.
33.
They don't have a lot of faith in me. 33.
Probably the best guess I've heard so far.
Yeah, probably pretty accurate. You're going to win, probably. No, I had a sandwich today.
Alonzo
It's
Mourning,
macaroni salad.
33.
But today, to be fair, this isn't when you think it is. This podcast is, I've lost a lot of weight by this podcast.
Yeah.
We're recording it early.
Yeah,
At least 25 minutes.
for sure.
Keeps going.
Kneecapping a lady golfing and then waiting for her to get carted away before hitting your shot. Just wanted to see if either of you have ever been hit while out on the golf course. I've had a couple close calls. Thankfully, never been hit. Not that you give a shit, but yeah, keep up the great work. Have a good day.
John, a little
I got-
self-esteem there at the end. He's like, not that you guys give a shit about me. Fucking assholes. Thought you were my friend.
I got hit once when I was in high school. I was playing with my, I think we were playing a tournament, and a bunch of my buddies were out there playing. So my buddy Joe was in a group behind us. So I was on a fairway going one way, and they were coming the other way on the adjacent fairway. And so I hit my ball over into their fairway. So I was waiting in the tree line in my golf cart for them to hit, and then I was going to go out to where my ball was. And he hit a screamer right at me, and I ducked, and it went through my golf cart, hit a tree behind me, came back, and hit me in the back of the head. That's the only time I've been hit that I can remember.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've never been hit. I'm what you call a good golfer. Even though I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Never been hit.
Good reflexes.
I will now, though, now that you mentioned it. Thanks a lot, John, for bringing it up.
Appreciate you, John.
Yeah.
We got a text from Maggie from Chicago. She says, fuck yeah, Dave. Thank you. I have been trying to convince people for years that Legally Blonde is garbage.
Thank you.
People are now trying to elevate Elle Woods into some bullshit feminist icon, too, that makes me
No.
turn into Forrest ranting about Aaron Rodgers.
No. First of all, I didn't say she was a feminist icon. I just said good movie. It's like I said. You'll watch the shorts, chick flick things when they come out. But there's a genre of chick flicks where we all agree right away. We know this is not the real world. This is not happening. This is not rational. This makes no sense. But we're gonna go along with it because we like the main character, and that's what Legally Blonde is. I don't think it's any feminist nothing.
And then Willie Q just says, hey, I don't have Venmo, only PayPal. How do I pay the $10?
Oh, well, it's been a while, but I've already sent it.
I think my PayPal is under my old AOL. Tiger.
We'll get it from you, Willie.
Kane at AOL.com. Yeah, your money's no good here, Willie. We'll just spot you.
It is good. It's very good.
Oh,
Really
pay
good.
us money, Willie.
I'm losing weight, everybody. Weigh-in's coming around soon.
Shedding the pounds.
When does this one comes out on
November.
Early November.
8th, I believe.
8th? So there'll be a weigh-in in 2 episodes. I got what?
November 6th. November 6th.
November 6th. So then I'm supposed to weigh on the 16th, right? So are we going to weigh on the 13th? Am I bringing a scale in? What are we doing?
Yeah, we'll bring a scale.
We'll figure it out.
We can drive over. Do they have scales at the grocery stores here, like at Publix? That was the best. When you go to Publix when you were a kid, you could jump on the scale.
Yeah, they don't have that here. You've lived here over a decade. You didn't notice a scale at the grocery store?
Nah.
Yeah. Forrest.net.
DaveWilliamsonComedy.com, at Dave W. Comedy. Come see me in a city near you, Cherokee, North Carolina, Winnipeg, Vegas at Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, a couple other places. I'm doing a fundraiser with Nate Bargatze this weekend, I think.
This weekend, he's hosting Saturday Night Live.
No, this isn't.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This weekend in Memphis. I think it's open to the public. Hit me up if you want info. See you guys.
They are the Mermen.